brought the news that the house I was born in no longer exists. Neither the lane nor the path slip into the river. Nothing. I had a dream of return. Multicolored, joyous. I was able to fly. And the trees were even higher than in childhood, because they had been growing during all the years since they had been cut down.
no talent. I hate myself. I can't think. I cannot love. I'm so lonely. Not enough. Nothing's ever enough. I don't feel like myself. There's nothing keeping me going. I wish I was better. I'm a complete failure as a person. I cannot be those. I'm bored and dissatisfied with everything. My life means nothing. I'm fine. I'm sad. I can't eat. Life will be better without me. Leave me alone. I need help. I cannot live with others. I can't move out of bed. I want more drugs. I want to die. I am numb.
Cut. Stand. Cry. Stay. Stand. Walk. Stop. Run. Sleep. Clean. Hide. Stop. Eat. Talk. Breathe. Slip. Draw. Punch. Run. Punch. Cry. Stare. Slap. Hold. Run. Grip. Collect. Go. Walk. Click. Kick. Speed. Line. Stop. Sleep. Hold. Fall. Start. Punch. Step. Rise. Think. Go. Run. Reach. Listen. Blink. Stop. Stab.
Prozac. Celexa. Fluvoxamine. Zoloft. Wellbutrin. Xanax. Toxin. Diazepam. Desvero. Amitriptyline. Simvastatin. Dosapam. Adderall. Sertraline. Lomax. Lonafide. Lesson. Citalopram. Prozac. Xelox. Fluvoxamine. Zoloft. Wellbutrin. Xanax. Toxin. Diazepam. Desvero. Amitriptyline. Simvastatin. Dosapam. Adderall. Sertraline. Lomax. Lonafide. Lesson. Citalopram.
Cut. Stand. Cry. Stay. Stand. Walk. Stop. Run. Sleep. Clean. Hide. Stop. Eat. Talk. Breathe. Slip. Draw. Punch. Run. Punch. Cry. Stare. Slap. Hold. Run. Grip. Collect. Go. Walk. Click. Kick. Speed. Line. Stop. Sleep. Hold. Fall. Start. Punch. Stay. Rise. Think. Go. Run. Reach. Listen. Blink. Stop. Stab. Stand. Think. Slip. Kick. Walk. Rise. Punch. Die. Clean. Cry. Hold. Smash. Talk. Stop. Go. Dance. Punch. Hide. Speed. Think. Stare. Breathe. Hold. Run. Grip. Run. Stab. Whisper. Click. Select. Run. Step. Stop. Kick. Stop. Right. Start. Slip. Slip. Hold. Think. Blink. Punch. Jump. Listen. Go. 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 Go.
I have had the great pleasure of being in the dance profession for 50 years. I started at Cornell University in 1970, and I will be teaching my last semester at UNCC in 2020. It's been a wonderful life, and I have been very fortunate to have such great students and wonderful colleagues. Well, I came to UNC Charlotte as chair of dance and theater in 1992. And I remember those days, and then I remember the theater over in Rowe was not really a real theater. It had no wings. The backstage was the shop, and we had to come down the sort of fire escape stairs in the back. It was always very, very cold, sneaking down in your costumes. But you know what, even the productions, I mean, you make things work the best you can. We did some very interesting projects, and one of the things that we worked on was seeing if we could do more collaboratory work with dance and theater, and we ended up doing one very good production, co-written with a theater faculty member and a theater student, on the life of Dorothy Parker.
Ow! Get off my instep, you hulky peasant!
We also involved a lot of dance, a lot of movement. It was a full evening of theater dance, and when it was really produced, it was quite brilliant. Many of our students came here with a lot of ballet background, and they wanted to continue that along with their modern dance and their jazz training. The university did not have, at that point, any certificate programs for undergraduates. So I talked with the people at Charlotte Ballet about the possibility of our students doing some of their more advanced training classes. It helped those people go on to be in ballet companies or further their performing career. So it's been a great program, and it still continues. It turned out that New Zealand was then putting in a full arts curriculum in all the arts for K-12. I wrote the Fulbright Award to work with Suzanne Renner, who's been a real leader in dance education in the country. When I first got to New Zealand, I was sort of lonely. We hadn't really started working yet, but I had access to the studio. So I was going in the studio, and I was kind of making a piece with a chair. And I think really the chair was probably my husband, who I was missing, you know, my partner. And so I had developed some material, and then all of a sudden I was telling Suzanne about it, and she said, well, you know, I have a piece that I made for a chair. And I said, well, let me see your piece, and I'll show you my piece. And from that, we realized that maybe we could just tweak both these pieces and make this a duet. And subsequent to that, I made 2 more sections, and I titled the whole thing Voices. And it is really one of my favorite pieces. It's the greatest opportunity when you can go somewhere and not just be a sightseer, but live there and see what it feels like. Kingston University, which is in Kingston upon Thames, the Royal Borough of Kingston upon Thames, that was the first university that UNC Charlotte had an exchange program with. They did not have a dance program, so I was situated in theater. I did a lot of work, a lot of physical work with the theater people. I made some dance pieces, sort of theater dance pieces for them, but the main thing was that we started talking about a real curriculum. My colleague, Jackie Smart, came over to my flat one night with a bottle of wine, and we just sipped and talked and jotted down things, and we basically made the first curriculum. And within another year after I left, they were taking in their first group of dance major students, and that program is thriving. The university provides an opportunity for you to try things, for you to fail, for you to share what you know, and to learn from other people. Eric Sauda had a sort of a loose group that he had meet every maybe month called the New Media Group. And somehow I got an invitation to come to this, and I had no idea why I was invited, because at that point, I mean, I was still back in the age of VHS videotape. But I just kind of kept going, partly because Eric had nice candies that he put out on the table, and it was like, I think, Friday afternoon, and because I've always had this philosophy that one of the reasons I wanted to be in academia was because I knew I would meet interesting people, and I knew that I would learn things that I wouldn't otherwise learn if I had just a normal job. So one day, Dr. Celine Latulip from Department of Software and Information Systems, she got up with these 2 gyroscopic wireless mice and started moving her hands in a very dancerly way, and the visualizations moved right with her. And then I knew why I had been coming. And so right after that, I went up to her and I said, do you think you could strap those things? I didn't even know what a gyroscopic wireless mouse was at that point. I said, could you strap those on my dancers and we could make a dance? And she said, well, yeah, I think so. And so we quite quickly made a pilot project. We worked on putting this quite large grant proposal together. And she said to me, she said, don't worry, we never get on the first go round. She said, so no worries. I'm in TJ Maxx, I'm holding a mug, and I get a call, and she says, are you sitting down? And I said, nope, but I'm gonna put this mug down. And she said, we got it. And it was a 3-year, $750,000 grant. So it was gonna be a lot of work. From then, we did 7 more productions, and each one had a slightly different kind of hardware combination. And we also brought in other choreographers, one of whom was one of our students, Melissa Word, who started working on this project in her junior year. And because it was a 3-year grant, she stayed another year in Charlotte to finish the work with us, which was invaluable. And Celine is a human-computer interaction specialist. Her job is to look at what do people need in terms of technology? What will make their life better? How can they do their work better? And then to develop it. So she started seeing that we needed time to really collaborate together asynchronously and in a distributed manner. Once we finished the project and we kind of closed out that 3-year NSF grant, we realized that we had this platform that was really valuable for us. So I am an inventor on a patent for the video collaboratory. Both the choreographing and then building this platform and the entrepreneurship of trying to get this platform out to users has really consumed sort of my last decade. And it's been fascinating and nothing I would ever have imagined, ever, which I think is my idea is that's the fun part of life. You don't know what's going to happen. You can't always see that how it's going to benefit you, you know? But that doesn't mean you shouldn't try to do things and invest your time. I have a colleague that I hired to teach in a summer workshop when I was at Cornell, Mickey Geller, who's professor emeritus at Ohio University. Mickey and I are still the best of friends, and we danced together a lot in New York City and danced in each other's work and in similar companies. And she said it the best one day. She said, you know, Sybil, you and I got to live our dream. That is so true. It's so well said. And I just think about how few people get to live their dream. So I feel really, really lucky.
You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert, repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over announcing your place in the family of things.